Yeah. Take 708. And then just go to your left. Take the elevator down. Oh, this is good.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? We're kind of
I'm okay. How are you?
Good. Mom.
Yeah.
Didn't know what I was. Well, where's the bar? Don't let me get away.
Bar's down here.
Rafi, here is my daughter,
Hi.
Elizabeth.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
And her friend Melissa Wilson.
Hi, Melissa.
Nice to meet you.
You guys have a good flight?
Yeah.
Rafi Benoit. I'm sorry, Benoit. There's no Kelly since she was like 18 years old.
Younger than you? You guys are right?
22. And I'm a senior in college, by the way. Just to clarify.
Congratulations. Are you going to graduate in May?
No, I'm going to graduate this summer, but I'm still technically credit-wise a senior, unlike the paper side.
What the paper say?
Junior?
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
Hi.
Elizabeth.
Nice to meet you. I'm Elizabeth. This is my friend Melissa. Nice to meet you. Hi. Hi.
This is Addie. This is Sue.
Hi, Eddie. Hi, Melissa. This is Melissa.
So the best part is,
Then you know that we've been voted some of the most obese people in the South. Now, you might say remains. Wait a minute, babe, it remains. Yes, remains, because once you place someone inside of those tombs, it's airtight. And you know how it is here in Louisiana when it comes to heat. High humidity. Those temperatures can get as high as 450 degrees. So during the course of that year today, what do you think happened to that body? So there was no need, since they didn't believe in cremation, there was no need to even think about it in those years. Because once you open it, took the remains, bagged it, you had just that, remains, and dropped them in the bottom called the coke bowl.
You're not familiar with this. The bottle is called Peychaud's Bitters. It's used in a lot of drinks today. Oh, in some drinks. Please keep the area open there. Step forward so let's get you here. We need to keep that open. So if you just step forward, then they won't knock you down. This was invented right in this neighborhood about 200 years ago by a man who, as you might guess, was named Peychaud. He was an apothecary, and he had a drugstore right in this neighborhood. In those days, apothecaries did a lot more than they do today, like surgery and drinks. And he invented this concoction that he called Peychaud's Bitters. We're not sure today even exactly what's in it, because they didn't say. It's about 35% alcohol, it says. But other than that, we don't know exactly what's in it. But one day, apparently, bored with his alcoholic options, he took some of this and he mixed it in with some cognac. And as far as we know, in the history of civilization, that is the first mixed drink. See what New Orleans has contributed to civilization.
I see.
Now he mixed it in an egg cup. The old little French, old-fashioned pedestal. You put a hard-boiled egg in. The French name for egg cup was coquetier. And he called his drink the coquetier. Well, Americans flooding into New Orleans liked the alcohol, but weren't very good at pronouncing French. So little by little, coquetier got mispronounced as cocktail. That's where the word comes from. Cocktail has nothing to do with the feathers of a rooster. It has to do with the fact that Americans love their booze, but weren't very good at pronouncing French. So that we're going to sort of set the tone of what we're going to do on the tour. Mostly what you see, though, in shops here, in voodoo tours, there are a few that are very good and accurate, but mostly they're just kind of saying, oh, look how funny and weird they were. Actually, the religions of West Africa were highly developed, the religions of the slaves. There were many similarities to Christianity. There was a belief in one God, and in the language of the Fon tribe, one of the tribes that was largely enslaved, others were too. In the Fon language, the word for the one God, the spirit, the creator, the power over all things, was Voodoo. And that's where we get the word voodoo. So when you say the word voodoo today, in their language, you're not saying pins and dolls or chickens being sacrificed or stuff like that. What you're saying is the name of God when you say the word voodoo. Belief in one God, a belief in life after death, all this was already part of the culture. Now, we'll come back to this later, but since you brought it up, what happened here in New Orleans, and this is the big picture. Let me give you the big picture. I usually do this at the end of the tour, but you were off the set now. For many, many years, I tried to find a way to simply try to describe why New Orleans culture is unique. And I have a way to do it now. I know how to do it. New Orleans culture, and by culture I mean things like religion, music, dance, art, food, architecture, language, did I say? All of those things. The reason they're unique here is it's a blending of different cultures. We've already heard about the French and the Spanish, and we're going to go from there. But also very, very important in all of these that I've mentioned, to some extent the Native American, our contribution, but to a large extent the African. Now, the French had this law about no other religions, but apparently they looked the other way. A lot of the Africans were going into Catholic Church and becoming good Catholics on Sunday, but elsewhere, secretly, because it was illegal, still keeping alive a lot of their religious tradition of language and rituals, practices. And with time, what's going to happen in their lives? They're going to be doing both, and so both are going to get blended together. And what is really voodoo today in New Orleans is the fact that many, many people today, white and black, very quietly in their spiritual lives, draw from both Catholic and African cultures. And that's really what voodoo is. And they will pray to saints, and they will pray to Loa, because the African faith had this highly developed and complex set of figures, very much like the saints in the Catholic Church. They were called Loa, L-O-A. So you might go here and pray to St. Peter, and then go somewhere else. There is a voodoo church on Rampart Street. The priestess Miriam, who's the...
We never know the day and hour when we will meet in the physical. Nothing has never been designed. All things have been designed. And it's tonight that we are witness of the great design from the higher universal plan. So we are honored to be here and to give this service to those who have come so far into this life, to set a new stage for the new event that will carry forward until search time began.
We understand completely.
Never rest. We're always climbing. We're always climbing. When the road is clear, all things seem bright. We can see far beyond the rainbow, as you said. But oh, when the rainbow drifts away into mother's arms and calls us back, that we may enter into the womb once again. And so nothing can continue unless we flow back into the mother's womb at different intervals. Sometimes we think it's saying, go back to the physical house, and we run back to our physical mother, and she says, well, you know, I did something else with your room, but you can use it, you can kind of use it for until you're ready to go on. And then you start feeling rejected. Because you thought mother was like, come on, honey, come on, let's start out like we used to. And then finally we get the grip, which mother's womb to flow back into. Which mom's womb will hold us best? The great universe, as the sun recognized which room is better for me to serve. He's out there shining so bright until he comprehends I cannot deliver anything until I settle over the mother's womb. And after the 6th, which is it, the 12th degree? 12. And then after the 12th degree, then I can kind of cool off, but still, there's another one breathing me feminine vessels. It's like when we come from another house and we go out there, we think, Dad, there's another woman standing there. What are we going to do now? But she's telling me she wants me to be her husband. And he wants me to be my wife. What am I going to do? And then we look back at the physical mother and it's like, run away. Well, I can always go back home. But when you go back into the shadow of the physical mother, sometimes you come complacent and you settle all kinds of situations in yourself that reason why me to stay here. And as you stay lingering there, the world keep rolling on, and finally that mother rolled on into that oblivious state, and you're like, oh, what do I do now? So let us flow on into the mother's universe womb that holds us greatly together. Let us find full confidence in a sweet mother who comprehends all things and give birth to all of us. Sweet Mother Martha. and rest a little while. Never try to carry the load to the full degree. Do as the sun. Get to the 12th degree and rest.
Yeah.
And then relax. Fold up if you wish. And unfold again.
Yeah.
The mysteries of life.
Yeah.
As we rise through whatever time and whatever generation we unfold in, let us carry the torch well and hard. Let it burn free. For all things will greet you in the state of freedom. All things will greet you in the state of freedom. It never said that the torch would be completely bright. But carry it hard. Be in low in your state of condition. But as you rise in high, all states meet to the highest peak of itself. All states meet to the highest peak of itself. Not of you, or your thinking, or your thoughts, but of itself. It will greet you. And the 12th degree, or in the 12th degree of itself. So be well. Be at peace. Be well and be free within thyself. All things.
It's called a Cafe Bulo.
As a kid.
It's a combination which is a spiced coffee made with cinnamon sticks, cloves, sugar, brandy, strips of lemon peels, and coffee. It's a very spiced coffee, which is also known as the devil's coffee. Bring out the snake. I guess that's.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming, first of all this way from all over the country. Myself, Michael, Kelly, Addie, and Mary, my father. You're not going to get up that easy. I think this is going to be roast, or toast. So, yeah, I mean, and I think it's appropriate that we are in New Orleans, or at least it's very interesting. I've never been someplace like this. You know, you grow up in Iowa all your life, and you come here and you realize that if you'd grown up someplace else, you might be dead. You know, just today, we were walking down the street. My good friend Ben, who was with us this week, found this piece of paper floating down the street. And it's kind of a piece of New Orleans. It really expresses at least half of the culture here. And it says, "Get me off the street, or all the money in the world will not stop me from destroying you." So that's one half. The other half is a very romantic place, you know. But we got it all here, so it's crazy. It's really been an eye-opener. I've been here for a week, and I'm just going insane. And I'm not the one under the pressure. This man, he's going crazy. But I've been happy to be by their sides. So, I guess that was the roast portion. The toast, I guess, was, you know, I've been watching. I finally actually stopped reading things like huge-ass beer and caught the news today. And over on the East Coast, they signed a peace accord in Israel, Palestine. I think that as that is a time for everybody to come together, so too is this a time for everyone to come together and join Kelly and Michael as they begin their new life together.
Cheers.
Dr. B? Dr. B?
In case you don't know, I'm her Uncle Clarence. I'm speaking for the family, whether they like it or not. I want to welcome you, Michael, to our family. I hope we can live up to your expectations. And I think both of you are very lucky. It's family sharing.
Well, I have 4 parts to my notes. Should take about 20 minutes. First, to Kelly Lynn and to my bride-elect, I toast, and I describe her in 25 words or less as what you see in the city of New Orleans. All colors, all races, all cultures are a mixture here in the city, and it truly is the same thing as what Kelly means to me. Beautiful to look at, but when I began to realize there was something quite different about anyone I ever knew, was what she would say to me that would cause me to scratch my head and wonder sometimes. So what she would say, something like, yeah, you're handsome. Yeah, you have had some money. You may have some again. And what you really may consider that you don't have is soul. Well, this would cause me to, I'd be puzzled by this, and I would, go wander off and try to increase her rent over that. And then I began to inquire as to how I might unify my family. Because at the time that I met Kelly Lynn, I had lost a daughter, in a certain sense, Elizabeth. And so Kelly began to help me with that too. So we've come a long way here in that period of time, 7 or 8 years ago. And Elizabeth is in the room tonight. And that is another thing that Kelly Lynn has brought me, that is the unification of my immediate family, not only with Elizabeth, who's back, and we have a long way to go, but she certainly is here tonight. Also my son Ben, and also then the unification of the family that comes with the marriage, and Addie, Nikki, Clarence. We have all these family members now from both sides of the family that are being unified by this marriage, together with the extended family. And as I look over this room, this also says an awful lot about who Kelly is and who I think I am, in the sense that it doesn't matter where you are from, whether or not you have money, don't have money, whether or not you have pigment in your skin, whether or not you have red hair or blonde hair. What you need to be is interesting. And if that is true, we would want to be your friend. So, people have come here from far, far away to be with us during this special time. Kelly and I truly appreciate it. And I'll close on a little sadder note, in that there are 2 people that were planning on coming tonight that won't be with us because they have gone to their great reward. My mother, Betty, Pat, and Susan, we laid her to rest recently. She had a ticket. She was planning to come here as well. Interesting enough, the second person, also Elizabeth, Betty, I should say, is Eddie, which was Kelly May's grandmother, Kelly Lynn's grandmother, Eddie May, right? She would have been here if she would have survived that long as well. So
She passed away from inundation.
she. So I toast all of those four elements. Thank you. There is one more virtual guest that we'd like to mention that is not here with us today, but is here in spirit, and will also, that's what all videotaping is for, which we'll share this moment with them, because he died at 18, basically. And that is Howard Ewing Irvin, my grandfather, Howard's father, and probably the person that's most responsible for the nutrition of I'm not going to be able to say that. We're drinking till all hours of the night in New Orleans. About 54 years ago, Howard was here after, during World War II, after being confined to barracks for what he describes as an extended period of time, and had to be, in bed by 10 o'clock every night, and then they let him loose in New Orleans, and he stayed up for the first night in his entire life, all night long, drinking with his buddies, right down the street as we understand. So hopefully everyone will join us down at this little canteen about a block and a half away. Oh yeah, to do our best to hold up the Irvine tradition. And so, okay, just for the record, just so you know, just to refresh your recollection, the Napoleon Club is the night that you spent a majority of your night with the boys back in World War II. Okay, so it's the Napoleon Club. It's on St. Louis, I believe. Kelly and Michael met. Michael had this idea in the back of his head. And I think that it wasn't exactly this idea, the parade and all that, because in all the time I've known Michael, I've never been to a party that was this much fun. Life is a long time, we get to evolve, and so now, here we are, with the idea that Michael had the back of his head, but he didn't even really fully understand quite back then. But, I'm very happy that this time, Michael had a nice long time developed to have the courtship period. 9 years, okay? For Michael.
That's huge.
That's huge. Elizabeth also wanted me to mention the word Mercedes.
Private joke. Yeah, it's a private joke. It's private as hell. It's all private that somebody borrowed it for a while. Just borrowed it.
They brought it back, though. So, here's for Kelly and Michael. And the best party that I think I've ever been to. How about you, Pat?
Totally. Woo!
Yeah.
Yay!
Man, cheers.
Cheers! 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 What is it?
I want to congratulate Michael and Kelly. For one, that's just a toast. Toast, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, Clarence.
And I also want to congratulate all the guests. And I think it was really wonderful.
It's okay. You know him.
That you could make the trip.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, I'm going to cry myself.
When you guys first hooked up, I gotta say, I was a little worried.
Which direction is it, for me or for
I was a little worried for Mike. Yeah, that's right.
Here, here.
As far as you know.
It says in the scripture, in order to be a friend, you must first show yourself to be friendly. And you two guys are the friendliest people that I've ever met. From the first time that I met you, Mike, and the first time that I met you, Kelly, you guys showed warmth from your hearts. And I consider this to be an honor and a privilege to be able to come down here and spend this time with you guys. God bless you, and we hope many, many years of matrimony.
Hips to carry. I need a French dip, please. I mean, here's Kelly and Michael. Wish you the best of luck.
Occasion, for this is a couple who have been a long time in coming to this magical time in their lives. Who presents this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
The guest, who is a Sufi interfaith minister who has known you, Kelly, for 25 years, is now going to lead us in a blessing and benediction.
Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, in the mercy of God, in the presence of God. I am Abdul Rafi, Sidi Mustafa. Through me today, the hand of God reaches out to you and uplifts you. I have a couple of Sufi prayers which have a English translation. They're rhyming prayers in Arabic, but unfortunately they don't rhyme in English. I take refuge from Satan because of the whisperer, which is all that is rejected. We begin in the name of God, everlasting mercy, infinite compassion. Praise be to God, loving Lord of all the worlds, everlasting mercy, infinite compassion, the eternal strength of every living being, whose majestic power embraces us in the day of the great return. Only you do we adore, and to you alone do we cry for help. Guide us, O God, in the perfect serenity and delight. The path of those who have not been brought down by anger, the path of those who have not been lost along the way. We begin in the greatest name of God. Say that the secret of secrets is this: God is one, the one and only one. God is the infinite presence, everlasting refuge. God has no beginning, never was begun. Beside him, there is no one. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو لكم
to you both for a few minutes about what it is you're doing here today. It is a lot more complicated than it appears on the surface. You have known each other now for about 9 years. And there have been meaningful moments in your life which brought you to turning points, which led you to this juncture today. You've both been on a long trail. And along that trail of taking a few side courses and so forth, it led you to eventually find yourselves as who you are. And there is someone here today, an uncle who's meant a great deal to you, Kelly, your Uncle Clarence, who used to say to you along the trail, be careful along the trail. Watch out. And we're thinking in terms of the Indian peoples, the native peoples of this land, and as they are out on the trail, following the trail of wild animals. And along that trail, wild animals leave scents for those they wish to attract. And they cover their tracks for those they don't wish to attract. And so you have been on a trail in life which has led you to find someone you really wished to attract. When you first met Michael, it was a friendship. Your business ventures together came to New Orleans at a rather fateful moment. I remember it well because I lost my Mustang GT that day. But we had 20 inches of rain, 21 inches of rain in just a few hours, and our streets were this deep for wading in. And you had a Gucci suit on. A great way to see New Orleans. But at that time, you had expressed to Kelly that you were beginning to have feelings for her that were different from those of just a friend. There was affection, and you gave her an antique watch. And she's wearing that watch right here today. A meaningful moment in your lives. But of course, you weren't at a place where you were ready to move forward with a relationship yet. And so, over a course of time, that began to take place. And Michael, I think you used to say at that time, life was a long time. And, you know, it has time for learning and opportunities. And so the opportunity came again to come back to New Orleans. And on that occasion, you espied a dress. And here is what has got to be one of the most beautiful dresses I have seen. And you said to Kelly, if I understand rightly, something along the lines of, if you and I ever had a time when we might have an occasion for such a dress, would you wear such a dress? The dress, as you can see, was bought. And here it is today. So this is a wonderful moment. You learned along this way to stop trying to care for everybody. Stop taking in rehabs. And to begin to ask yourself, through your Uncle Clarence's advice, what it was along the trail you wanted to notice and who you wanted to attract. And so you began to find what you desired, as opposed to simply seeing nice people and thinking you would try to be loving and kind to them and hope that something would work. And it is a wonderful thing when two people are brought together and find each other as much more than rehab, but they do the work of growing in a relationship together and come to the place that you have come to. You are blending two families together. One of them, Native American and Irish, interesting combination. The other one, fiery combination, Scotch-Irish. And putting two families together like this is quite a task. And it's going to push both of you to draw within yourselves for deep resources that will enable you, if you follow that trail to its end, to become more than you've ever known yourselves to be, both as individuals and together. A little girl with a ball of cotton candy. There's a big ball of cotton candy. I used to love this stuff when I was a kid. And I said to him, how's a little girl like you going to eat all of that cotton from the outside. And through this relationship of marriage, the two of you, I believe, will find an inner bigness about yourselves that you will draw out that you have not known before. It's going to mean changing some patterns of doing things. It's going to mean learning to do it together and to be an us instead of simply I and you. A man who had a plane who learned to fly in his business, and then eventually no longer needed it for business and decided to trade it in for one with pontoons because they had a cabin in the wilderness and they used to like to go up there at weekends. And he thought, you know, if we just had this, we could splash down right beside it instead of having to go to the airfield and drive. Flight, they're coming into land, and his wife screams at him. Wives are useful at such moments. Pull up, dear, pull up! What? We're about to land on a runway with pontoons. Force of habit. He throttled, he circled round, he splashed down in the lake. He shut off the engine, and looked at his wife and said, that was the dumbest thing I ever did in my life. It would have killed his wife. Out of the same force of habit, he opened the door and stepped out into the lake. We live so much of life on autopilot. We do it the way we've always done it. This is a time in your lives to find a new sense of yourselves within a togetherness in which you draw out your inner bigness and you get out of autopilot and you begin doing things in a different way. As you progressively do so, you will find a deepening passion, a deeper excitement, and a deeper wonder in each other. 1894 inaugural speech. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, or fabulous? Both of you are. Actually, who are you not to be? We're both a child of God. Our playing small doesn't serve the world or this relationship. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates us. To be here today, and whom we all greatly wish could be here, but who have been separated from us by death. And in particular, we're thinking of Betty, your mother, Michael, of Scotch, Irish ancestry, and of Eddie, Kelly, your grandmother, Native American, Irish ancestry. Betty holds a special place not only in her son's heart, but also in Kelly's heart, for she warmly welcomed her as her future daughter-in-law. She admired Kelly because Kelly is a professional, she's intelligent, she's a dedicated person who she knew would enrich Michael's life. And she made Kelly feel part of the family. And in return, Kelly was able to contribute to this family at that time of her departing. It was a very painful episode in their lives, something they had not had to face much in their lives. And as a therapist, she was able to help and to comfort at Betty's passing and help to bring healing into their lives. Eddie, your grandmother, was born on a reservation and lived to the ripe old age of 95 and raised over a dozen children. She was a stoic individual, strong, courageous, unflinching at life's hardships. And she died at about the time the two of you became engaged. So we honor these and other ancestors who have been part of these two families and who rejoice at these blending of these families today. portion of the words of Khalil Gibran at the funeral of Betty, Michael's mother. And today we turn to him again for wisdom as we listen to his words concerning marriage. You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together when the white wings of death scatter your days. Aye, you shall be together even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness. Let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not the bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each one of you be alone. Even as the strings of the lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music, give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Michael and Kelly, what we are doing today goes far beyond the creation of a legal entity under the laws of the state. In this ceremony of marriage, we are not only recognizing the bond that you have established between you over the course of some 9 years, but we are witnessing the birth of a new reality. As your family and friends, we have gathered to support you in this transition you are both undertaking as you move from largely separate lives in separate homes to a shared life in which your dreams and mutual aspirations at last may come together. We are here to rejoice with you as mature lovers who don't intend to confine each other, but who intend to create together an atmosphere of freedom in which you both may know yourselves to be more than you have ever imagined. We are here to encourage you to enjoy God's creation of a safe harbor for your lives, offering our prayer that you may learn to care for each other's souls within the envelope of togetherness that we will now think of as us. Since you are announcing that you are uniting to form a home as husband and wife, it is appropriate that you should share publicly the nature of the commitment into which you are entering. We therefore ask you to declare your intentions by responding to the following questions. Michael, do you take Kelly to be your wedded wife? To nurture this bond with her in this, the oldest form of partnership? To love her through all the changing seasons of life? In being a husband to Kelly, will you look out for her welfare? Will you share together your hopes and dreams, nurturing the soul of this relationship so that it transcends your individuality? Will you share your lives with passion and meaning, promoting Kelly's individuality, encouraging her independence, strengthening her belief in herself, supporting her as she pursues her most meaningful goals, by being willing to set aside your own claims upon her where they would violate her own desires?
I will.
Do you intend to nurture the love that is the basis of your relationship from all the deepest sources of your being? Do you intend to use your marriage to develop as a person so that you may experience a growing intimacy and the joy and fulfillment that accompany such intimacy? Do you intend to keep yourself to Kelly alone so that the bond between you is not broken? Will you share your life and yourself with her, allowing her deep within your heart and soul until you are known as no one has known you before?
Yes, I will.
Kelly, do you take Michael to be your wedded husband, to nurture this bond with him in this, the oldest form of partnership, and to love him through all the changing seasons of life? In being a wife to Michael, will you look out for his welfare? Will you share together your hopes and dreams, nurturing the soul of this relationship so that it transcends your individuality? Will you share your lives with passion and meaning, promoting Michael's individuality, encouraging his independence, strengthening his belief in himself, supporting him as he pursues his most meaningful goals, by being willing to set aside your own claims upon him whether you violate his own desires? To nurture the love that is the basis of your relationship, all the deep resources of your being. You intend to use your marriage to develop as a person so that you may experience a growing intimacy, and joy and fulfillment that accompany such intensity. Do you intend to keep yourself to Michael alone so that the bond between you is not broken? Will you share your life and yourself with him, allowing him deep within your heart and soul until you are known, because no one has ever known you? Having affirmed your intentions in entering into this relationship, it is appropriate that you should exchange vows. Kelly, would you repeat after me? I, Kelly, take you, Michael.
I, Kelly, take you, Michael.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
To share all of life with you.
To share all of life.
My responsibilities and freedoms.
My responsibilities and freedoms.
My tensions and trials.
My tensions and trials.
My rewards and challenges.
My rewards and challenges.
And to cherish and care for you.
And to cherish and care for you.
As I would my own self.
As I would my own self.
May it be forever so. Michael, would you repeat after me? I, Michael, take you, Kelly.
I, Michael, take you, Kelly.
To be my wedded wife. To share all of life with you.
Share all of life with you.
My responsibilities and freedoms.
My responsibilities.
My tensions and trials.
My tensions and trials.
My rewards and challenges.
My rewards and challenges.
And to cherish and care for you.
And to cherish and care for you.
As I would my own self.
May it be forever so. May it be.
May you love and care for each other in times of abundance and times of sacrifice. In times of health and times of sickness. In times of happiness and times of sorrow. In times of agreement and times of difference. In times of togetherness and times apart. Respecting each other's uniqueness. Enhancing each other's freedom. Promoting your friendship. Cherishing your relationship. And delighting in each other until death do you part. And I will share with you a Sufi prayer, followed by a moment of an Indian tradition of smudging with a grass, sweet grass.
O thou who art the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, Lord of heaven and of earth, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly cometh from within. Disclose to us thy divine life, which is hidden in our souls, that we may know and understand life better. Most merciful and compassionate God, give us thy great goodness. Teach us thy loving forgiveness. Raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide. Send us the peace of thy divine spirit, and unite us all in thy perfect love.
Beautiful smell. From time immemorial, human beings have made these pledges to create their own personal societies known as families. The home provides provides a meaningful atmosphere to bring out the best in pair-bonded mates and allows their offspring to be nurtured. The sharing of rings is an ancient ritual of pair bonding. The ring is a token of the covenant between you to establish your life together as equals in a bond of true love. Will you then, Michael, place your ring on Kelly's left hand, saying after me? This ring I give you.
This ring I give you.
As a cherished token of my love and fidelity.
As a cherished token of my love.
In this covenant of marriage.
Oh, the glove doesn't fit.
She never intends for this to come off. Kelly, would you place your ring on Michael's left hand? Saying after me, this ring I give you.
This ring I give you
As a cherished token of my love and fidelity.
as a cherished token of my love and fidelity.
In this covenant of marriage. That's the way we like it. May these rings serve to remind you of the sacred covenant that you are entering into today before the Creator and your family and friends. And you have come to this place, a train that has been guided by grace. Rachel sings for us, Amazing Grace. part of yourselves for each other, basking in the warmth of each other's love. And the evening bring you back together safely to renew your commitment to each other, strengthen your desire for each other, and nourish your souls through caring. In the name of the God who created us, the God of the heart of all love, the God who brought you both together. Amen. Now, according to the authority invested in me as a minister, on behalf of the sovereign state of Louisiana, I declare that Michael and Kelly are husband and wife. Oh, look, it's the Bible.
You did it.
How do you get this? It's a ballpoint pen. You ever used one of those before? Not that I'm sure of. Get over here. Quit giggling and come over here and sign, hon.
Well, this part's making me nervous, more nervous than the whole ceremony.
Maybe I did.
He just signed in the wrong place.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah.
Get the white out. Where did he sign?
You sign on the X. I sign on the address of the official. Phyllis Tips. Oh, well, he's got plenty of space.
Must have been too good, dripping all over myself.
Actually, you didn't get a minister to sign on the bottom line? We haven't yet. Wait, isn't these little marks? She just did.
Oh, yours is better than mine is.
It's abstract.
Running to,
Oh, just spilled that orange.
She was a low down hoochie coocher. She was beautiful. Howdy, 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 she messed around with a folk named Smokey. She loved him though he was cocaine. He took her down to Chinatown and he showed her how to kick the gongs around. Howdy, 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 ho. Howdy, 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 ho. Howdy, 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 ho. She had a dream about the king of Sweden. He gave her things that she was needing. He gave her a home built of gold and steel, a diamond car with thick lightning wheel. Howdy, 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 He gave her a townhouse and all his racing horses. Each meal she ate was a dozen courses. Had $1 million worth of nickels and dimes. She sat around and counted them all 1,000,000 times.
elbow, wrist.
Elbow, wrist.
Elbow, wrist, elbow, wrist.
Well, their sister.
Family that eats together.
And that's how.
That was good. That's fresh air in here who knows something about cutting cake. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You're going to tell her you're...
No, wait a minute. Is that
You guys can get married again to each other anytime.
Yeah.